I'm really excited about today's video. It's something we've all seen before, and that's partly why I've never done it before, but I think I have a slightly different take, and the take is things that age us. Okay, we've all seen it before, but I'm looking at something really specific here. When I go onto YouTube, before I sign in, I'll hit home, and people will come up that I don't actually follow, and I ran into somebody who I've run into before. And I watched one of her videos, and I was shocked to learn that she is 8 years younger than I thought she was. And that's entirely because of the way she wore her makeup. And I see this a lot, so let's talk about it. This is what I would call the Housewives of Orange County kind of look, where the hair is bleach blonde. They tan with their foundation. They use a lot of black eyeliner and a very nude lip. And instead of looking youthful, I think the idea is for a lot of these women, they were toe-headed when they were little, and they're going for that look, you know, when you're a late teenager, early 20s, and you've spent the weekend away in the sun, and you have a tan and your hair's gotten really blonde, and it's a very fresh look. But the way people are doing it isn't fresh at all, because there are some things you can do with makeup until you're about 25, 30 tops, and then you probably need to stop doing it because for some reason it ages you. My theory is when you look at a child, you see pink lips and pink cheeks, and it means the blood's going through and they're alive and they're vibrant and vivacious, right? When you take all of that away with a nude lip and you put your blush on the side of your face instead of on the cheeks of your face, and you do heavy liner, I feel like a lot of women kind of look close to a corpse. I do. Nude lips can be very beautiful on some people. I think most people go too light, and that's what I'm talking about today. I'm going to do half and half. This is the wrong, and this is the right. I'm going to do the darkest foundation I have on this side of my face and add some of the bronzini into it because I've already thrown out all the things that don't work for me. So this is going to be a hard video for me to really illustrate for you. In fact, I shot this yesterday and it wasn't dark enough on this side. Okay, so this isn't even dark enough, and this is the darkest foundation I have. It's the BECCA Cosmetics in medium, which I usually mix with light. I see a lot of people do this, including professional makeup artists, when they're like, oh, well, I self-tan, so I'm going to tan my face. And I just don't think it ever looks good. It always looks like too much. On my hand, it's dark. Excuse the bruise. Oh, I was at the hospital. I have a kidney stone. Yay me! I cannot tell you. You do not know what pain is until you have a kidney stone. And the funny thing is, let me get my other foundation. Okay, I'm doing the Changemaker in 140. I really like the 130, but I felt like, you know, spring is here. I'm probably going to get a little bit darker, so I wanted to try it in a slightly darker shade. And it's a little yellow. This could be, uh-oh, I might have to return this. I ordered it, actually, in this color. Because of the sale, and I had to make a decision, and I didn't want to take off my makeup and try it. But that's okay. If it doesn't work, I can exchange it, not even open it. Anyway, yeah, pain. Pain? You do not know what pain is until you have a kidney stone. And I don't know if I've passed it. I think I've managed to get a little bit of a difference. I think it might be a little hard with the light that I have in here, but this is more to my tone, and this is much darker than my tone. All right, let's do under eyes. Now, we see this a lot. People go too low, they go too light, they go too heavy. I'm not sure if this is going to show as being too light, we'll see once it's blended in, but certainly too heavy. And I'm going to take a beauty blender to work that in and take it up using it as a highlight. Yeah, this is too light, but I see it. And then I'm going to take my Flawless Fusion on this side. I usually don't apply it in this particular manner, but for the sake of this video, we're going to. Now this one's too light as well, but it's the oddest thing. Once you powder it, it gets darker. This is something else I see a lot, going in with the Laura Mercier powder under the eyes. I think the Laura Mercier powder is valuable for some things. If you like to powder your whole face with it, I guess. It can fill your pores, but it tends to look very drying. But I don't think this is a good powder for using under your eyes. I do think it's very drying. We're going to go with this. And under this eye, I'm going in with the Tarte powder, which I find to be quite a bit lighter. It's more finely milled. A lot comes off, so you have to dispense it onto your hand. Now I know you're thinking, you said this makes it darker. It will. I'm going to take my butt and take the excess powder off. I just think this is so much more fresh than this side. Bronzer. I see a lot of people, like everybody, goes ham with their bronzer. And I just don't think you end up looking bronze. I think you end up looking dirty. I'm taking a huge, this is a powder brush, and I'm going underneath, using it as a contour, and then everywhere else. And for this side, I'm taking something that's not very dense and it's much more precise. I don't know why I don't see people using precise brushes for their bronzer, but unless you have a very huge face, I think it makes more sense. So when I get color, I want to get around this bone right here, the edges, and then on top of the cheekbone, which is where people get color. And I'm going so lightly when they're in the sun, right? Here's the top of my cheekbone. And over the cheek. If you are cheeky, you definitely get color when you've been out in the sun right there. And the bridge of the nose a little bit. Very, very lightly. To me, when I look at each side of the face, this is pulling everything down. It's muddy, it's darker, there's nothing fresh about it. And this is pulling everything up because I'm not using this as a contour, I'm using it as a bronzer, and I'm going higher up. Now we're going to get into Scary Town. Hello, Scary Town. I'm going to use this. Here we have a silver, rose color, and a gray. All of these colors are shimmers, and when you are hooded, when you are older, you can't do shimmers up here. I'm going to go in with this rosy color and just go all over. I'm going to keep the eyeshadow pretty simple because this isn't about an eyeshadow look, it's more about eyeshadow mistakes. I'm going to use this just because I was cleaning things out when I was, on the toilet for a couple of hours crying in pain. I was looking at my makeup and I found this and it was still in good shape. So this is a Bobbi Brown cream. It's a very neutral color. And I'm just feeling under my orbital bone. And then to the whole lid. There. I'm not done with this eye, but I could be. It's just a little emphasis, a little receding the hood, and this doesn't recede the hood. It makes the hood look, I think, even lower because it has that shimmer on it. Black eyeliner. I see a lot of people doing black eyeliner. Now, I think black eyeliner for the tight line, it's not a bad idea. If you're wearing black mascara, go for it. I'm going to do this side first. Makes me look like I'm lashy. But I see people using the black on top of their lashes, and that is just good on very few people during the day, I prefer brown. It's much softer. Black isn't as flattering on most people. In my opinion, I think it can make the eyes look smaller, and I think it can be very aging. One of the worst things I see is people using liner under their eyes. If you want something under your eyes, do a shadow. It's much, much softer, but I see this. And I'm not even going to go hard. I'm dotting. I'm not going to do that under this eye, for sure. And just because I have this here, I just got this yesterday, I'm going to use this color under this eye. This is a really solid palette. These are Sephora shadows. There's 3 of them at my store, and there was only 1 online. But they're pretty nice shadows. And it's only $10. And I'll bring that around about half above. It's soft, it's emphasized, and yet it's pulling everything up. And this is pulling everything down, and it's hard. But let's blend it out a little bit, give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm just going to use this Jane Iredale, but it doesn't matter. I don't even know what kind of mascara this is. I forgot I told you I would use the same shadow on this eye, so I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger and just press it closer to the lash line. So I get a little bit of pink, a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of light, but it's not ham. Let's do brows. A lot of people are overlining their brows by quite a bit. With some women that I actually follow, you don't see it until they're at a certain angle and the light hits them in a certain way and they've gone in to show you their application of their eye. And then you can see the fuzziness of their hair and then a huge solid line above it. And I think it's quite aging. So I'm going to try to do that. And I see people doing a very solid, squared off eye. And something very solid and cut below. I can't do that because my hairs are so kind of uneven, which I really like. I'm going to fill out right here, which I normally would do, because when I was younger, I wanted a high arch. It never occurred to me to draw one. I would just pluck underneath. That's a big, bold eye. And for this eye, I'm just going to fill in where I do already have hairs. They might be kind of thin, or they might be a little blonde. And I'm just emphasizing what I have and fixing any mistakes or flaws that I deem I have. I like to pull down here a little bit because this brow doesn't go down. It kind of starts in a weird place, and I feel like it makes me look surprised. Brush through. Heavy brow, natural brow. But we're not done yet because I'm seeing a lot of people making their brows super, super dark. And remember, these are people who have baby blonde, bleached hair, going for a black eyebrow. It's not a good look. Now, I'm obviously not going to dye my hair, but I am going to use this little mini, I think I got this with points or something. This is Anastasia, and the color is way too dark for me. And this is kind of messy, it gets on your skin. Mother Dearest much? Now look, I'm not saying this isn't a look. This could be a look. You could do some heavy-ass, big black brows, but then you have to leave everything else incredibly soft. Maybe just mascara, and that is it. And maybe a bold lip, not a nude one. Let's do some blush. This has been my favorite blush for a while now. I just think it's a great tone for me, and it's light and youthful and fresh. But it's not much of anything if you're not applying it on your cheeks. And I'm seeing a lot of people start here, outside the eye, and then pulling up the face on their cheekbone. So what they've got going on here is bronzer under the cheek, blush on top of the cheek. It's just, again, if you think about a child's face, that's not what you're seeing. You're seeing the bronzer on top of the cheek, because that's where you get bronze. And you're seeing the flush on the cheeks, right here. And it's kind of a triangle. It's like here, like that. Much more youthful. For highlighter, I've also thrown away the highlighters that are too icy or too yellow on me, so I can't really illustrate exactly what I want to. This is Moonstone, and I think it's an okay color for me, but what I am seeing people do is highlighters that are too light. So when you look in this way, you're like, ooh, how pretty, and you look straight on, you see a white stripe, and a lot of them are putting it on their cheeks. If you have texture on your cheeks, you really don't want to put a highlighter there. I understand what they're going for, but you can get there with a fresh foundation. Like when I smile, there's some radiance right here, and that's just from my foundation. If you're wearing a matte foundation, then you could take just a touch with a teeny eyeshadow brush, place it right there and blend it well, but I'm seeing this a lot. And most people have texture on their cheeks, so they're just bringing attention to it. Now, I don't really have texture on my cheeks, but I have like lumpiness of allergies, or this is just how my face is built. I'm not 100% smooth right here, and I have this puff thing. So putting highlighter right there isn't my idea of fun. And if I'm perfectly honest, I much prefer a liquid highlighter. This is my favorite. I think I should have bought some at that sale. Shame on me. 2, and I like to put a little here to open up the eyes. Sephora just had a little sale that no one was talking about. It was a weird sale. You had to spend $50, and then 3 weeks later, you get 15% off your entire purchase. And I forgot to get this. I guess I thought I had enough until the spring sale. You see, I don't know if you can see, that's such a natural glow. It just looks like it's from the foundation. Who among us has not seen somebody do a dark liner and a beige mouth? It's very 90s, but it's not very youthful. If you're using a technique from another decade, it's going to make it look like you're from that decade. Now, again, I did have a nude that was so horribly aging on me that I returned it. I got it at the last sale. It was by BECCA, and I think it was called, gosh, I can't remember what it was called. I'm going to try to imitate that with some concealer. This is a professional makeup artist trick for editorial. Back before they made nudes, they were widely available some time ago. They would just put concealer on the lips to get that look. I'm going to go back and do lining again. For me, I really like a lip that looks like my lip color, and I have plenty of those, but I'm going to show you how I use a nude lip. This is my favorite nude color. It's called Dusk. It's just not too nude. Okay, there you have it. To me, this side of my face looks so much older than this side of my face. I just don't think this is a flattering look on anybody. And I think this is far more youthful. Everything on this side, to me, is going up. And everything on this side is going down. But it's so, to me, this is just such an incredibly matronly look. And the killer for me, I think, is the liner, the very pale lip, and where the bronzer is positioned, and the brow. So basically what I set out to show you. Thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with me. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope I gave you some ideas how to switch up your makeup game a little bit. I'm assuming that most people aren't making these mistakes, but I don't know, I keep on seeing it, so something's going on. I just think that this look is so much more youthful and natural, and this one is just, well, who looks good like this? Thank you for spending some time with me. I hope you come back again, and in the meantime, I'm wishing you a great day.